Hello there, Kingless here from the One Plus Armory. Today I'm going to explain a little bit about sparring poleaxe that we use for HEMA. So inherently we mostly only use these when we're doing armor combat. You could use them for unarmored as well. They just kind of get a bit unsafe. They are two-handed weapons. They are really quite deadly when you don't really know what you're doing. If you do it with control, these are very safe weapons. However, for people who just really want to go in for the big whack, going for the big thrust, you probably want to put on some armor. Even with HEMA gear, these things do pack a punch, so do be careful when you're using these. So first and foremost, we're gonna go for a couple of ones that I've collected over years, and which one do I really prefer, and which one is, well, it's to your preference, really. They're all good training weapons. It really depends on your context of using it. So first and foremost, we have the Purple Heart Armory rubber poleaxe. I think these are rubber, really. This one comes to roughly around 15 or so inches. And this is mostly what I use to fight. I do like it how there is a back hook. It is nice and stiff. It does get a little bit dangerous if you really hook something really heavy, so I just do a really light hook with it. They are really good. I do find them a little short. I kind of wish they were a little bit bigger for more hooking power. And then we have the axe bit there. This thing has barely any flex. It does flex a little bit if I really try to pinch it, but oh no, there's no flex. And of course, the pokey bit itself, the spearhead, is actually very flexible. It's quite safe actually, so I quite like stabbing people with this. And when I am fighting with this, when I do hit, I just do a really light bonk or really light hook. But then thrust-wise, you can thrust enough to register a hit, especially when we're thrusting in melee. So I do quite like this. And it comes with a hickory shaft. This one right here, stupid long. This one do come to roughly around 6.5 feet in height. Technically, they should be human height. I wanted to use this for a little bit longer. Did it work for our advantage? Not really. The more I fight into it, the more I kind of realize when I'm fighting armor, I want something a little bit more, well, my height. So I kind of realized by now. So I shaved one end, so then when you guys get one of these cold steel head, they do fit right in. Well, supposed to be, I didn't understand it yet. So then you have spear end on one side, and then so you have axe head on the other side. So you can threaten people with the spearhead and then deliver a nice cutting power to them, and then go back to spear them some more. So, optional, you don't have to have this, but if you have it, it's great. Many manuals have it, and you do fight with the Q, which is the tail end, before we fight with your hatch, which is your axe. So, of course, next that leads us to the actual cold steel head. You can just put one of these on a rattan shaft, and they're absolutely fantastic. The head itself comes to roughly around 10 inches with another good 6 inch of shaft. And it does receive any dowels that is roughly around an inch. Good enough. So we have to be very careful with these ones. The first batch of cold steel head and the later batch actually is nice and stiff, nice and flexible, and I really like it. So you can stab your friends all you like, even with no armor, and they're very safe. But what happened is that there's a short period of time where cold steel start having these really flexible head, like they're super mega flexible. Luckily mine is very flexy. You can buy these online, anywhere you want, Amazon. Just be careful, don't get the overly stiff one. I don't know why the stiffness, but I don't know. I try not to use it. They do scare me. So, next on the list is that, let's just say, well, what's the safest thing that we can never use? Well, you could always use one of these cute little Kalamazoo foam head. These are mega safe. You don't even have to wear anything. You can hit people all day long and it doesn't hurt. So if you want to do like no armor, very safe, just put on a fencing mask or just some eye protection and groin protection, you can go on town with these. These are very safe. Even the shaft is flexible, and they're roughly about a human height. Perfect for poleaxe. And then of course, next, you could technically use a training spear. Now, Castile may sound really nice one, but they go to about 300 or 400 I think Canadian for a spearhead. That's a little really expensive. So many times people do opt in for one of these, especially the tip spearhead. This one there's no flex in those. It's just a steel bar, to be honest. It's a blunt steel head, and if you were to do nice light control, you can definitely use these to get some bind, get some spear. Very light touches is fine. These are great because the thing is that when you are using a lot of manuals, when you find that your weapon is too floppy, you can't do a lot of parry and disengage as you like. A parry and bind, as the manual says. So having some stiffness, it's good when doing control play, when you're doing... I don't think you really should do full speed attack poleaxe unless you're a very, very good trained martial artist. But for general casual play, being a little bit on the flex side is good, whereas something with no flex, this is great for reenactment and really good for just drilling, training, trying out technique, and definitely not for sparring. And of course, this one do come with its own little tail, which is kind of cool. I got this from another HEMA for only like 50 bucks. It was great. So next on, we're gonna move on to a couple of the harder plastic head. Plastic head wise, I'm gonna move on to another one. This one, I think this one is the Elsum, whatever it's called. But in any case, so this one is my one-handed back to Corbin. You could attach it on a longer shaft as well, so then you can have a full human height. I kind of want this as single-handed because I was trying to use this with a shield. And for one-handed, now this head itself, it's relatively small. This head itself is only roughly around, just the head itself. The spear tip is around 5.5 inch. The langet is another 7 inch, and the total thing is roughly around 14. The width, you get 3 inch of pokey bit, and you get another 3 inch of bonky bits. So I really like this, and this is becoming one of my favorite toys actually. When I'm fooling around, that's what I use. It's hilarious. I like it because this spear itself is a massive button, and it's mega flexible. So even if I stab someone, it's fine. I use this on single-handed, so then even if my hit do connect, not a lot of force gets driven into my opponent, but it's enough that it connects and it shows a point. Hey, excuse me. And so you do get the bonky bit, and of course you get the pokey bit. So on the hooky bit, on this one is that the crow's beak, or what I call it, it's stiff. So then if I want to hook anything, it is very, very good. And it's rounded, so even if it does scratch on the people, it doesn't hurt them. I love this thing. I currently mounted on the rattan shaft with just tape. I should do something else. But the cool thing is that on the back side, I use one of those LARP arrowhead, and I just put it on the back instead. In case if they do get too close, I want to stab them. I could put the cold steel head on there as well, but a lot of times they only have like some manuals only have like artifact only have like a steel cap on it, so that's to represent the steel cap. You can bonk people, you can lightly just put them in the head or whatnot. So this thing is really good. Should they be two-handed? I haven't tried it yet. They don't weigh a lot, so even if you do two-handed, if you do a loose grip and not like a full-on grip, just loosely bonk down, it's still relatively safe. That leads us to the longer brothers. Next, we're gonna have these Helgi poleaxes. Now these Helgi poleaxes, I absolutely freaking love it. They're from Helgi True History Shop. Olga is the maker's name. I use them a few times and I do find them quite safe. Once again, very controlled sparring. We do not go Hail Mary with these because they are still quite deadly. I have two versions here, and I don't know why the spearhead is different. Let's go through this one first. The lighter shoulder, the lighter, smaller, and the more safer one. You get a spearhead of roughly around 9 inches, total length all the way down to the langet. You get arm protection, which is what I like. This one is 2 feet long total, and the axe head width going to the mace, you get about roughly 9 inches. Now, this one is my favorite because it's very, very safe. Just like the Alcom one, I think Malcolm Blackfist, I don't remember who made that one. But in any case, this is very safe. I love it. It's really, really good. You can stab people all day long. It's a little too flexy for my liking. I'm afraid this is eventually gonna break, but eventually. So one thing is that the axe head itself, there is some flex to it actually. It's actually not that bad. It's quite flexible. Now I could also turn it like all the way down. So I do like this one. It is very, very safe. The bonky bit, well, all mace head, they don't flex much anyway. I guess they kind of flex, no, a little bit. But even if it hits, all the points are actually flattened at the end, even though when it's like kind of sharp, but they all flatten. So that it's actually quite safe. So on this one, fighting wise, I do kind of like it. I can do all my technique, hand protection is protected, and I can still do whatever I need, hook, cut, and also I can change it to the other side with no problem at all. Currently, it is mounted on a 2x2, it's a piece of lumber, it's a stud. I think it's a spruce or pine, whatever it is. And they are just nailed in. Very, very good. I haven't broken one of these yet, so they're quite safe. Currently, there's no tail. You could technically buy a little tail end with Helgi True History Shop, but this was my favorite actually, and I'm quite happy with this. And so it leads us to, well, why is there another one that is flat? Flat blade. In the 15th century, you are going to see the flat blade one as well as the curved blade one. Why? Well, I think it's just mostly style. And does one attack more better than the other? Not really. I don't know, I haven't killed a friend yet, so I can't answer you that question. Now on this one, the total length is going to be slightly shorter at 20 inches. That one's 2 feet, this one is 4 inches shorter. The width wise is still roughly by and large 7.5 inch in diameter over. Now on this one, the spearhead is still relatively flexible. It's okay. I have stabbed it with, but more weight do get transferred into it. So what we do is that with these ones, we just place and then just do a little poke instead, and not just driven into it. We just do a light poke. Now we do go for it. So what we do is that when we're doing harness fighting, we don't go full speed. We just do a really nice control speed with good speed and lighter on the attack, so we do really good control, full speed, and then once we go there, we apply a little force just to show that we puncture the male. Now on this one is that the accent is also very safe. It does bend relatively good. The mace head is exactly the same, so this one is also very good too. But we have to be careful about this this pointy head. Personally, style-wise, I like this one a lot better because I always like the flat side, and it looks kind of cool. So, moving on, the last one is, of course, the golden standard that we can use is going to be one of these. This one is going to be a black fencer one. It has a metal shaft sticking on a rattan shaft. This one, I use it for unarmored combat. You can use it for armored combat as well. I do find them a little long. But in any case, this guy right here, it is massive. So, because this one is a straight up partisan, it's not even a poleaxe anymore. This is a 16th century kind of weapon. The blade is 27 inch. Up to the shaft is another 6 inches. So 27, 6 inches. So this one is mega flexible. It's super safe, and it even come tip. I love fighting with this one, and you can even, it's so comfy. You can even fight it single-handed, and I do find it very nice. Thumb to thumb, outside, doesn't matter. However you fight this, is really safe. You can use this, and also we can hold a sword at the same time. So I quite like fighting with this. And it's a little too long for armor fighting though. So. In any case, all in all, which weapon, in my context, and whatever you fight, in harness fighting, what exactly do I like to fight with? I actually do like fighting with this one the most. It's just because it's one of the better ones to use, that I can use all my technique, apply the forces, lightly bonk my friend to say that you're dead, and you're dead. So, but then again, if you are looking for a little bit more speed and actual fighting itself, you might want to look into one of the Purple Heart stuff. They are a little bit better, or you can just go with a large weapon. They are the safest. I do have to say, the Purple Heart Armory, it's ironically one of the more scarier because it is actually heavier. And these ones, because they're lighter, they have less force into them. And of course, if, let's just say you want to go really ham on people and just really go for the attack, then I think you should just go with a lighter weapon with a little more flex. With more control, these guys are absolutely fantastic. Or you can also go with one of these Cold Steel head. Cold Steel haven't really made an actual good sparring poleaxe yet, so there's a bit of playing with that. One more. I completely forgot I have this. So this is actually a longsword. It's a dueling longsword that I found in a museum example that has a weird back to Corbin with a spearhead on it, and I thought that was the weirdest thing ever. It's because when you're fighting in half sword, you can also then switch over and then turn it into an actual, I guess a mace at that point. I think I turned the other way around, but it doesn't matter. But in any case, so this one is from Purple Heart's Park. This one is a Purple Heart spear. It's extremely safe, really good. And then we also get back to Corbin, gonna be the pick side and the mace side. There's a bit of weight to it, and they are rubber, so they are the same as the other one. They do pack a punch, so I try not to use it too much, just because if you really do well someone into this, they will drive a force. In armor, it's fine, and if you want to put this back in a rattan shaft, it is actually quite safe. I keep it on the longsword for now because this is one of my fun little weapons that I like to use when I'm fighting in armor. So, once again, keep on series from the All One Pounds Armory. If you have any questions in regards of any of these poleaxes and which one should you get, feel free to leave a message behind. I'm happy to explain everything that I can to you guys. Signing off. See ya.